She used to be an actress.
See ever do anything I saw?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in Pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know the shows on TV.
Don't watch TV.
Yes, but you're aware there's an invention called television. On that television, they show shows.
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick shows on TV is they make one show, and that show is called Pilot. And they show that show to the people who pick shows, and on strength of that one show, they decide that they want to make more shows. Some get accepted, become TV programs, some become nothing. She starred in one of the ones, you want it should become nothing? It's fine. We've been canceled for worse, right?
Well, I think it was more Russian than anything.
Russian Jew.
Ah, yes. Namaste.
And also with you. L'chaim, and welcome to Couch Pilots. All of you are my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television, pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is the man who laminates manila folders and file cabinets. It's Captain Philip Bressisher. Good evening.
Yes, it was great to see my mill folders back on the silver screen.
This is the Finkel files, and that's why the beginning of what I said is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the show we're watching today, the Finkel files.
Yeah.
There's also a Jewish name, apparently.
Finkel?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't see color or religion.
That's all I see.
Oh, really?
When I see a person, I immediately see the color of their skin.
What color am I?
You're like kind of a pinkish brown.
With some yellow tinted eye.
But when I see a person, I say, okay, what color are they? And then in my head, I have a color wheel that aligns with religion, and then I immediately make a decision of what religion they are. Sometimes I'm way off, but I always make a snap decision.
Sure.
So
Oh, yeah. You got to live your life that way, right?
I live my life like I'm golden.
You are golden. You're a golden friend, and it's good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you, pal. This is a celebration of the Jewish folks.
Yes,
today.
yeah. I don't think we've ever watched a cartoon that was based around the Jewish religion.
Definitely not a cartoon. I think very few, if maybe zero. But there's always a lot of Jewish people in show business.
Well, of course, they run it.
Yeah, there's a time that Marlon Brando, like back in the 90s, got quote-unquote canceled until he apologized to Jewish leaders.
Really?
And Norm Macdonald did a great joke on Weekend Update about it. But I mean, it's to me, it's not a slam. There's a lot of Jewish people. There's a lot of talented Jewish people that write comedy that I love.
As I say, there's a lot of them that we actually are into. That
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So there's no shame in that. And what I think of when I think of an ethnicity, or someone says, this fella is a Chinese person, or this is an Indian fella, I always think about, boy, would I like to try some of their food.
You're a food guy. I mean,
I love food.
Everybody that knows you knows that you're a food guy.
I love interesting and exotic foods, and there's really very little Jewish population in the area that we live in. I remember going to school with one lady. Her last name was Katz. She's a very famous Jewish name, and she's like the only Jewish person that I was aware of that lived around here. But what I'm getting at is that a lot of times when you have a population of a certain ethnicity, someone says, "I'm going to open up a restaurant." That's not the case here. There's no Jewish restaurants in the Peoria area.
Yeah, now that you mention it, do we have a synagogue anywhere?
Yes, there is at least one. It's
Okay.
on a university between Gale and Northmore.
Okay,
there is a synagogue, and I go to a estate sale all the time, run by this Jewish fella and his wife and his family, and it's always nice to go to their sales. But I would love to eat more Jewish food.
Okay. Listeners, anybody out there that has some good Jewish recipes? Recipes?
If you got any good recipes, let me know. I cook a little at home. I'll mess around in the kitchen. I went to
nothing else to do.
About a year and a half ago. I got things to do, sir. Okay.
All right.
About a year and a half ago, I went down to St. Louis, and I was with a few people. We're like, well, we should get something good for breakfast. How about like a bagel? Is there a Jewish deli around here? There was. We went to a Jewish deli, and we had a bagel, lox. Got some schmear on there, of course. And there's some capers and stuff. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing you could get would be like, hey, we got Einstein's Bagels. I don't even think they're around Peoria anymore. But I would love to have a good Jewish deli here. Oh, I think it would be so good.
Let's get on it. Let's make one.
Man alive. Anyway, A little primer there for the rest of the program. But there are other things we should talk about up front. A couple quick things I want to talk about. We have a little meat of the feast later. But you've had over the past, I would even say, year, you've had back problems.
Yeah.
And you re-injured your back.
2021 has been the year of the back.
I don't care. When was the last time you went to the Illinois State Fair?
Jeez, I don't even know.
Been a while?
It has been a while.
Well, we went down there recently,
Yeah.
and you were supposed to go with us. I went with friends of the show, Big E, Dustin, and also Kevin.
Yeah.
And the four of us went down to Illinois State Fair to watch a back to the 90s hip-hop night. We missed Tone Loc and Young MC,
Oh, man.
but we did see Rob Bass. We saw Coolio. What's that?
Does Coolio know that you ain't no hoe?
Faux show.
Okay.
We also saw Naughty by Nature. We saw Bone Thugs and Harmony, 2 of the 5 members.
I was going to say.
I think if you go to Wikipedia, it's a free website. If you go to wikipedia.com, it'll say who's in Bone Thugs and Harmony. It'll say there are 5 members. The 5 original members are still part of Bone Thugs and Harmony. But if you saw them when I did, you'd see 2 of the 5.
Well, they're going to be in Peoria here in not too
Are
long.
they really coming back?
And the promo, the poster has 5 of them on there. Maybe they were just sick or something.
Really funny. And then the last person we saw who ended out the night, and there's rumblings that Dustin said that this person may be in charge of the whole event or assembled it, essentially. It was Vanilla Ice.
Oh, okay.
I'd never seen Vanilla Ice before. He has exactly 1 song, but it was cool to see all of those guys.
Sure,
and the prices were like it was like $20 or
Right,
something. It was
you
like
can't beat it.
crazy cheap, but it was fun to see that. We had a nice time, and the reason I bring up all that is because you were supposed to go.
Right.
But at the last minute, you're like, I hurt my back. I'm not going anywhere.
Right. It was a Wednesday night. We were supposed to go. Tuesday after work, I was working out in the yard. Maybe pushed it a little too far, and by Tuesday night, I couldn't walk.
Well, what were you doing in the yard? Because you famously have a swimming pool, and you've said that you made an announcement. You said, I don't want Jason in my pool for the past 2 summers, and now I'm going to close the pool.
I'm not closing it. I'm tearing it down. There's a difference.
Was that what you're doing? Were you doing prep work to close it down?
No, I was doing yard work because I'm so far behind on yard work. And then I was tearing out. I was doing a lot of weed eating, and I tore out a bush on the front yard.
Okay. So it caught up with you the next day. You said,
that night, yeah.
My back is funked.
Yeah, it's funked. It was bad.
Well, we missed you down there.
I missed you guys too. I really wanted to go, but I would have never have made it, even in the car ride.
We went to where did we go? We went to some brewery in downtown Springfield, and then we went to Obed and Isaac's. They have down there. They have their version of it. The one in Peoria is cooler, but this one we had dinner there, and then we went over to the fairgrounds.
Cool.
And farted around.
Are you mad that you missed Tone Loc and Young MC?
No, I'm not mad. I would like to actually at the end of the night, like every act, all those acts, like there's probably 1 song that you can name from all those guys.
Sure.
But in reality, they probably had 2 to 4 hits. So they come out, and no joke, they probably do about 15 minutes a piece.
Really?
And in that time, they do about 3 half songs. And I swear to God, 12 or 13 minutes of Rob Bass being up there was just him telling me what to do with my hands. And a lot of it was putting them in the air and then pretending like I don't care.
Oh, well, but did you pretend good enough for him?
He didn't notice. I didn't care, and I wasn't going to try to fool Rob Bass, but there's a lot of people in attendance. I'm sure he didn't see. But it seriously was a lot like, hands over here, put your hands over here, put your hands over.
More of a hype man than anything.
I'm not joking. It was 12 minutes of that.
Yeah, because that's all he only has it takes 2 to make a thing go
Yeah.
right. But other than that, I don't.
Yeah.
So he was like, ooh, shit,
Yeah.
I got 12 more minutes left.
But it was still cool. Like, I was still glad I went. But yeah, you were definitely missed. We wish that you were there. That was kind of like you kind of had back problems, and then this kind of
Reflare.
Yeah, you popped. Was it just reigniting that injury, or was it something different?
Well, I think the shot is wearing off, and now there's like a pinched nerve kind of involved in like a side based off of that.
So you're gonna go get another shot, and hopefully that will relieve you of some pain. But these are all just temporary fixes.
Okay, well, so here's the story. So I'll make this as quick as
Dun,
possible
dun,
because
dun,
people
dun,
really
dun.
don't care. But or I could have that disc fused together.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor says
that will solve the problem or not?
Doctor says the success rate is 40%, and you'll be out for 6 weeks, meaning you won't even be able to bend over and tie your shoes for 6 weeks. That's not a good option. He says it says in your case, it's not going to help because the damage is inside of the disc as opposed to on the outside or bulging out. So he says he doesn't like to you're not supposed to. He doesn't like to give those shots in the disc more than once a year, but he's do this again because he says that, and I don't have the piece of paper down here, but there is a new procedure, new innovation in this type of injury, but it's not being done around here yet. And he says hopefully within the next 6 months they'll be doing it around here. And basically what it is they take a needle, they don't cut you open, they take a needle and they kill all those nerve endings in that disc, so then it doesn't bother you.
Can you go to where this is happening?
He didn't go that far. He said, "You're a candidate for this. I'm going to put you on the list of potential people when they start doing it around here." And I didn't really. He said, "But right now, let's shove a needle inside that disc and fill it up again like a jelly donut, and see how long that lasts."
And that did happen to you before. You had a shot, and then it didn't go great, and then you had a second shot to do exactly what we'll be doing soon.
Yes.
And when you got that second shot initially, were you like, "Oh yeah, this is great"?
Oh no, yeah. It took a couple of days, but yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the temporary fix until hopefully this procedure. My next question for the doctor would be, hey, can I go to where this thing? Like, what is the success rate of you killing the nerves?
The success rate is a lot higher, like 80% compared to that.
Great success rate. Can I go to where this is happening instead of waiting here for it to happen?
I think one of the things that why he didn't go further into it is because probably he understands that I don't have endless amounts of money and how hard that would be to get approval for something outside the area. So,
boy, are we really a civilized society if we can't take care of each other and
we don't.
And things are like dependent on your provider?
Unfortunately, that's the way the world is.
But are we really a civilized society until we can take care of each other?
We're barbarians who. Yeah,
that's unfortunate. Well, I hope this happens quickly and makes
at the time of the release of this show, bowling season is in full effect. 2.5 weeks, so we'll see.
Is there a point where you say, I just can't? I know you took a break from bowling last year when you were hurting,
and then the COVID.
Yeah. But is there a point where you just say, like, physically, it's not worth it for me to keep bowling or not, or are you in bowling for the long haul? Is this it?
I have invested way too much time, and I felt like I was getting close to the next threshold
of skill
level, and so
okay, because I've known you you've been a man of different passions,
yes,
and obsessions.
It will burn out eventually, but
okay.
I don't want it to burn out now.
Okay, well, yeah, there's that. I hope you feel better.
So hey, Patreon people, cha-ching! I need some money.
Keep bringing that money in for Blake. He does all the work for the show. Give him the money. Episode 302 today is, as far as release goes, September 20th, 2021. Man. Great year. We are, I'd say, 4 weeks out from CouchCon 2021.
And, with episode 300, we kind of put a lot of communicating to everyone what we were doing with CouchCon because episode 300 was such an epic event.
It took precedent. We need to focus on that. But now we have affixed our gaze seemingly and completely on CouchCon. And we will, like a laser beam focus, and give people who are in attendance the best possible experience.
And, every year, we've been doing this will be year number 5.
Yep, that's right. And you remember how we did it last year, right?
Oh, virtual. It was all virtual.
And we had to because of COVID-19.
Yeah, but we're not really worried about that Delta thing right now. So
no, we're doing free vaccines this year. It'll be administered by Kemo Clark. He's going to be there. He'll be running the merch table, and with every purchase, any purchase you do, we'll get you a free vaccine.
Sure. So, if you want to buy a pair of socks or aviator glasses, or if you're going to buy some popcorn and a soda pop.
Yep. We have stickers as cheap as $1, and he'll give you your change in his left hand, and in his right hand he'll hit you with that vaccine.
Right. So, but I mean, I don't know what you want to do about getting the second one.
No, it's the one shot.
Okay.
But it's not like people are like, oh, I got the Pfizer, and some guy will say I got the Moderna, and I personally got the Johnson & Johnson. I don't know the differences. I don't care. We don't have any of those. We have brand X. It's a different brand entirely. I think it's called Bonson and Bonson is what it is.
Bonson and Bonson.
It's yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we have going on. And again, it's you just talked about are we civilized? We take care of we're taking care of our fans.
That's
like
right. That's
we
exactly
spared no expense with the vaccine. We're like
we're not going to ask.
We're going to get we're going to get one of the top 7 distributors.
Oh, Bonson and Bonson's top 7. Yeah. If nothing else, top 10 of providers when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine. This will help against Delta variant. We will have lightly used, lightly soiled, but cleaned. Some things get stained and you can't get stains out. Masks available for everyone in attendance.
Like we've been doing a lot of on the tarmac and stuff. We've been picking up a lot of the ones that are on the ground. Mm-hmm. And DSA washed them up and hung them up. So I mean,
we'll hit them with a lint roller, throw them in the wash. I don't know if people are familiar, especially in this country, with the Chicago Cubs. They have storied in their bathrooms. They have those big troughs, where people can just piss in openly like you're a fucking cow. Well, they're redoing some of the bathrooms there, and we have actually purchased a couple of the troughs, and we've cleaned them out. I personally power washed them because I love power washing.
You love the power wash.
And we've sanitized them, and we will put them at the entrance of CouchCon, and they'll be full of grain alcohol, which it will be used very similarly to hand sanitizer.
Sure.
We don't have hand sanitizer. We just have grain alcohol. You just dip your hands in there. You do a 3 Mississippi. I wouldn't advise doing it if you have any open cuts or wounds on the hand.
Ooh, sting.
Yeah, it'll be a real Kama Sutra situation. But you put them in there, pull your hands out, dry them. Get yourself a used but clean fair
mask.
Yeah, separate but equal mask, and then also go to the merch table or your concession stand, and Kevin Clark will hook you up with a vaccine.
Right.
Those are our COVID-19 precautions this year.
Right. And do we ever think we were going to have these? No, never.
We got to change. We got to adapt. We got to evolve the situation.
Right,
That's
exactly.
what we're doing.
One of the things that I have been working on tirelessly. I worked on it all night. I didn't even sleep. But we're gonna do gift baskets this year. Mm. You go to a lot of conventions and stuff, and when you go in, they give you a
little swag bag.
A little swag bag.
Yeah.
And so I've been working on those.
Do you want to give people a little taste of what's in the swag bag?
Yeah. This is going to be a huge event. We know that there are going to be a lot of women in the crowd, and they might not think about it at the time, but they'll probably start their periods.
Yeah.
So
women get in sync very quickly.
Well,
and then you're going to have a red tidal wave.
So we are definitely going to make sure we have some women and feminine products. We haven't really found a sponsor for that yet.
Well, I'm wrapping up, and I will mention it here, but it's almost completely cemented that we will be working hand in hand, have our logo on Diva cups. So,
because then you can just pour them out in the trough as you leave.
Well, I guess you could. The alcohol would kill whatever in your blood if you really wanted to go there. I would advise going to the bathroom and being clean that way. But you could hit the grain alcohol trough if you wanted.
Sure. Everybody is going to get a limited edition special wristband.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just because every time you go to like a festival you have a wristband, but these wristbands are kind of special because you'll put it on and we'll scan it. And you'll scan it with your partner, whoever you're there with, your buddy or your
right.
And we scan them and we sync them together. And anywhere, all over the venue, we're gonna have these little like at Walmart they have the price checkers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can scan it, and you can see where your other person is, so you don't spend a lot of time looking around. I'm sure at the state fair you guys kind of broke up, and it was a pain in the ass finding each other.
Years and years of doing couch cons, the number one complaint we get is, where is the person that I came with? And we are listening.
Mostly because of how large it's gotten over the years.
They say, I am at CouchCon with one other person. I can't find them. I wish I had some sort of apparatus. And we have heard those complaints, and we are reacting. And I will say this, too. All of our wristbands have the word Livestrong on it.
Yes, they do. They definitely do.
So live strong, live together, scan your wrist, find your buddy, meet up, put your hands and maybe your feet into the horse trough.
Right, and got a lot of other some goodies in there. But another thing we're going to do is, and I saw this at a rap concert not too long ago, and it really made me think about we haven't really focused on one of our big demographics of listeners, and that's the deaf community.
Yes.
And so we are going to have on stage over at the side, you know how they usually are over on the side,
Yep.
A sign language professional.
Yeah, I didn't mention this, and I don't know if this is just something that's become more and more in vogue over the years, but legitimately, when we were at the state fair and we saw that Back to the 90s concert, the entire time there was a lady in like a black tight dress doing, like, for the whole thing. In between shows, they would play songs just over the PA, and she was doing the whole time, and she was
cool.
rocking and rolling. So we said, you know what, we gotta step up and do what's right for our deaf listeners.
Right, for sure. I mean, we want everybody to have the best experience possible, and that's, I mean, you have to think about everybody. In the past, we've done some courses, we've done some speed dating, and Kevmo has DJ'd some dances and a lot of seminars, and we're still.
Kevmo has never done. He's always been the merch guy.
I'm saying Kevmo's done the DJing.
That's been DJ DSJ has done that.
Okay.
Kevin's always done our merch. Kevin's always been our merch
that's
guy.
true.
But DJ DSJ will be there in full effect.
Right.
And we always have. Of course, we do a live
Seminar,
show.
yeah.
And then
And we don't release that to anybody. It's just for the people
just
that
for
are
the people
there.
in attendance. And there's also a lot of seminars. There's little conventions that's happening. People will give speeches. We'll bring in people. People are part of the Couch Pilots family that you know and love over the years. They will have maybe like a little conference room off to the side. They'll give a speech or a seminar. We always have an MC, and I am very happy to announce this year's MC.
Oh yes, you worked hard on this.
Yeah, we have Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is an American politician, businesswoman, and conspiracy theorist. She's had some controversy as of late, but again, people have peaks and lulls, and we have her in a capacity where she was attainable to us.
Right.
So we said, let's get Marjorie Taylor Greene to MC the entire event. And we said, please keep some of your political views and your conspiracy theories. Let's 5 minutes or less.
Right. We told her. I mean, there's three things that we don't talk about. Is we don't talk about politics,
no religion,
or no cops.
Not this time. Not this time.
So that in an event as big as this, we're going to stick by that.
So we're excited to have her join. It does seem, when I think back on years past of CouchCon, it always seems that we have someone a bit of a controversial figure. And it's just by happenstance.
Right.
We had Harvey Weinstein one year.
Yeah, Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, both people of note. We had Bill Cosby, I think, one year.
Yeah. I think I think we find them right at the right time where they're available.
There's a pattern.
They're available.
But Marjorie Taylor Greene, beautiful woman, intelligent woman. I agree with almost everything she says, but it's not for the consumption of the masses.
Well, and it's one of those things like, again, a lot of our listeners are females, and we are a male-dominated show, so let's try to give them a voice.
Yeah, we've always had men be the MCs, but we said, you know what? Separate but equal. Let's get Marjorie in here. I think she's doing a great job.
And we're also going to be asking. We have these booths available throughout the venue, but people, if they want to give money to Haiti again, because they need some more money because they got earthquaked and then
hashtag Haiti again,
tsunami. So Haiti again.
Hashtag Haiti again.
It seems like we always give a lot of money to Haiti, but they need us again.
They need it again. Let's hit them, baby, one more time. Am I right?
Hey, there you go. But we got tons more to go. But we don't want to empty our plate all in the right now.
We have some seminars and what those will be to announce. We'll also have some more celebrity guest appearances. Obviously, last year we in a digital environment, in a digital landscape, a virtual space, we had Kiss perform the first ever digital concert, and that was awesome. But yeah, we have equally big announcements like that to make for this year's CouchCon, but that'll be for another episode.
Right.
So I'm
looking
very
forward
excited.
to it.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I'm looking forward to it too.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Be nice to get out of this house.
turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Did you already get your room booked, or have you booked your room yet?
My room booked?
Yeah.
I have actually. I was just at an estate sale, and I purchased an old Streamline trailer.
Oh, okay.
So I will be utilizing that. I have not yet opened it to see what's inside. It was kind of one of those things where you do it's like an auction at the end.
Sure.
And it's like kind of
Garage Wars.
Yes, it's kind of like that. So
Storage Wars.
I assume it's in pristine condition. I'll have to wait and see. I got a hell of a deal on it.
They're nice.
Oh, I can't wait. It's from 1957.
Yeah, it looks like it would be super hot because it's basically a steel thing under the sun, but
Yes.
it makes it reflects that sun off.
Yeah, you think you're cooking in there like a
it's
toaster oven.
It's reflecting.
Not the case. So I'm very excited to open it up. I can't imagine there'll be any surprises or anything to report on further than that. But I will do it this weekend, and next episode we'll probably have an update on my Streamline and where I'll be staying during the convention.
Wow. It's exciting.
There's so much to be excited for, Blake. Today we discussed the pilot episode of the Finkel Files from the year of our Lord 2003. Now that was a great year.
2003.
How do you spell the word yawn?
Yawn.
What about Raytheon? Do you remember him?
Who?
Raytheon? I think it was spelled different. The yawn was spelled different. He was one of the guys in the Jackass crew. He was like an adjacent member. Are you excited about the new Jackass movie?
Is that the Buddies movie or whatever?
No, I think it's called Jackass Forever. And I think Johnny Knoxville, he says, I'm 52 now, and I have an AARP card. I'll show it to you.
I can't do any of the stunts, but
Well, he did do the stunt, and I think he got hurt. And I think he said, this is my last, this is the last time I'll be doing stunts for Jackass. I don't think I'll be involved anymore after this.
well, do you blame him?
Would you watch it? You'll watch it, right?
No, I've never seen any of them.
Really? No interest?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch people get kicking themselves in the nuts and
I
stuff.
was 18 to 20 when the Jackass TV show came on. Hit me at a really good time. Perfect. I was like, I really love it. I have them all on DVD. I have the show and the movies, and they're fun. I think they're a lot of fun. But you never saw any of them. You have no interest in them.
No.
Oh, I think they're fun. But 2003, though.
2003 is good. 25. I was 28, so you're 20. Right?
No, there's 6 years, of course, between us. Not 8. I was 22 in 2003. But it was a great year. I was a young man. I was living in an apartment with a couple of buddies.
Those are the days, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We had a 50-inch television that weighed exactly 250,000 pounds.
Right.
Yeah, we had a big living room. I worked for a medical supply company, and sometimes I get
all the syringes you need.
Well, I had a big bariatric mattress that they gave me because I had a rip in it. They said we don't need it, so instead of throwing it out, I took it home. And then, for reasons that we don't have to get into on the show, it was dubbed the anal sex mattress. It doesn't matter why it's called that.
Oh, man.
Sometimes a name is just a name, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's just pull stuff out of there, ask for no reason.
But it was a medical mattress, so the key thing is that it was easy to clean.
I got it. I assumed everything.
What's that?
You seemed angry that you're like, I understood it. You're just waiting for me to.
Instead of yawning, I just like a response.
I'm sorry. I'm trying. I haven't drank anything either.
You're giving me a yawn response. Hey, this is still a great deal at Aldi. Goose Island. It's a 15-pack for like $14. Do you want one of these?
No, I haven't even finished that.
It's from Goose Island.
Yeah, we have those at work. They're $1 at the Moose.
Oh, I was thinking like your regular job. I was like,
yeah, that's what we're doing now.
All right. So are you down to 2 days now? Is that right?
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, I've had them before. They're good.
2 days a week at the Moose. Are you feeling better about your time there?
Oh no, now I'm really mad again because the new administrator.
The guy that you didn't like is
So
whatever.
But I like getting off at 5:00 on a Saturday and still being able to do something.
Is he there? Does that guy affect your life at all? Do you ever run into him?
He will. He'll be my boss.
But what is he really going to tell you to do? Or
I know, but I just don't like him.
This is part of your OCD.
No, it's part of my spectrum. There's a difference. I don't want to hug him.
You don't want to hug him?
Nope.
Was that on the table
No.
to be hugged?
No.
Let's talk about things that happened in 2003. And to do that, we'll need to go back there in our minds so we can properly understand and judge the Finkel Files in which the time in which it was created.
Right, because this is 2003 we're talking about. That was, 18 years ago.
Unbelievable.
Right, yeah, 18 years ago.
An adult human being born then would be an adult today. Isn't that crazy? If someone was born in 2003, they would be an adult today.
Right, they could actually vote.
Good gravy.
They could buy cigarettes.
As long as they weren't a felon. I think felons can buy cigarettes, though.
Yeah, at the commissary. And I mean, in 2003, we didn't even have electricity.
No, we didn't.
And people go like, oh, yeah, we did. No.
Think back.
You didn't have LED.
Open
for
a
sure.
book, stupid.
To me, we didn't have electricity until we got LEDs.
That's right.
Now you can buy a $14 light bulb, and that son of a bitch will
Outlive the sun.
it will outlive the sun as well as light up everything, illuminate everything in your house.
And outlive Blake's next 3 pets.
Amen.
Right?
We didn't have cardboard in 2003.
That's where we're before cardboard. Roaches had nowhere to lay their eggs.
Yes, and I mean think about it. The milk crates, the bun crates that they delivered bakery goods on, they're made of plastic.
Cardboard. Amazon.com. Breakdancing.
So I mean, think about that. With the things we have now, we didn't have then. You can't judge this pilot based on today's.
Here's some other things, 2003. September 4th, Europe's busiest shopping center, the Bull Ring in Birmingham, is officially opened. What's the biggest shopping mall, Blake?
Mall
that
of
you've
America,
ever,
right?
No,
I've never been there.
Well, that's my question. What's
Oh.
the biggest one you've ever been to? Mine would be the Mall of America.
I would say like there's like a mall in Chicago or something that
The Brookfield,
seems big.
or was it called the Brookfield Mall? The Woodfield Mall.
Woodfield, yeah, the Woodfield Mall.
That's up in like Schaumburg.
Yeah, I mean that's to me and I don't count outside like Grand Prairie. I don't count that as a mall.
And
I don't.
Yeah,
It's
I can't imagine
a mall?
an outside mall that would be the biggest mall. I feel like it would be one big building.
Right.
Have you been to the Woodfield Mall?
Yeah, I have. For sure.
At one point, that was the largest one in the country, if not the world.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
I always think of it's got to have escalators.
Oh yeah.
It's got to have a really creepy, weird statue in the middle of it to where all the places intersect. All the like arms of the mall
Yes.
intersect.
Yeah. Meet me at the statue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
The Mall of America is like a huge circle, and it's like 3 or 4 stories.
And there's like roller coasters in it, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there was when I was there, I think it was like a Nickelodeon themed amusement park. And then they had a basement that was, I think there's a comedy club down there and a huge aquarium that you stand on, not an escalator, but like a conveyor belt. You stand on a human conveyor belt, and they move you through the.
Oh wow, you don't have to walk around.
Yeah, they've eliminated walking.
They assumed like by the time you got there, after walking around all day looking at shops, that you needed to rest but still see something.
That's exactly right.
See something, say something. If you ask me.
Absolutely. September 7th, Farm Aid 17 is held in Columbus, Ohio. Performers include Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, Emmylou Harris, Hootie and the Blowfish, Sheryl Crow, Brooks and Dunn, and Daniel Lanois. I've never heard of him.
I don't know.
What was the last music festival that you went to, you think?
Cook's Buddy Roots.
And how long ago was that?
4, 5 years ago.
This is in Kentucky?
Tennessee.
Tennessee, same thing. But you went down to Muddy Roots. How long? How many days was it?
It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So yeah.
And that was one of those festivals where you were really into camping at the time, right? And so you camped at the festival.
You camped at the festival. Yeah. It was a good time. It was always just like it's super hot or fucking raining. It's right during hurricane. So it's in September.
Hurricane?
It's in September every year, so it's hurricane season.
I thought hurricane season was over.
So
did you make love while you were there?
I think we have had sex there a couple times, but it's so hot and so
It's got to be gross. It's got to be fucking gross.
Yeah. So it's even you're just like looking at each other going. Ugh. I think when I proposed to her that night, we did have sex. I think
you proposed to her at Muddy Roots.
Mm-hmm. I jumped up on stage with the Calamity Cubes.
Oh, that's right. Her favorite band at the time. Now she's really into Depeche Mode, right? And Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yeah, loves the Echo. I think that night, Big Daddy and the Fly Right Boys was playing. That's probably
and that's real. You didn't make up that.
No,
name.
that's a real name of.
Last one I went to, I think, was in 19. I spent 3 days. I didn't sleep there, but in Douglas Park in Chicago at Riot Fest. Yeah. But I've been to like summer camp before. I never sleep there. I don't want to sleep there.
I got an offer to go to summer camp. These people that had a mobile.
Oh, it was this past weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had a mobile home. That
Streamliner?
No, it was a better one. A header conditioner.
Better one.
And I got offered to come out. Like I was like, I don't. Like, oh, just come out one day and you can hang out. And I was like, And they're like, oh, well, here's the list of the 5,000 bands. And I was like, I've heard of none of these people.
Yeah, I always hear of a few of them. Like Ween was there, I think, this year, and that would have been awesome to see. But I saw Ween from a distance at Riot Fest, and I don't know their stuff that well. But it's always it's always a bunch of jam bands.
Yeah.
And that's not for me.
No,
that's not my
and
thing.
it's too hippy dippy for me.
September 11th, Swedish Foreign Minister Anna Lindh dies after being assaulted and fatally wounded on September 10th.
That's crazy.
Swedish Foreign Minister is
Where's the bodyguards?
a high-rated or high-ranking political figure in Sweden.
How does that happen?
Is murdered.
How's that happen? They gotta have bodyguards.
It,
Even Whitney Houston had a bodyguard.
even Whitney did. They made a whole movie out of it. When I think about northern European countries, I think those are good places. Those are like tiny utopias.
Right.
As cold as it gets, and whatever, it's still like low crime, low unemployment.
The cops don't have guns.
Yeah, that's
Right. It's just yeah.
So it's weird to think that there are like assassination attempts and assassination successes in those kind of countries, but they exist.
Man, I would want to go to Sweden or
I'd love to go there.
or
Norway.
yeah, during the summer.
Oh, during the summer, yeah.
Amsterdam.
Oh, take me to Amsterdam. Take me to church. Am I right?
Is there another place in Europe you like? I always thought I would want to go to Paris, but then I'm like,
Gay Paris.
Gay Paris.
I would love to have a big French baguette. I said I wouldn't say that word anymore.
Right.
But
I maybe for like I just don't think that would be. I need to go to a little more. I want to take the train to like 4 or 5 different countries in like a weekend.
well, Europe is like half the size of the United States,
Right.
or maybe not half the size. It's super doable. Like I'd love to go to Europe and just fart around, but I can't imagine a time where I will ever have the money to do that.
Yeah, it takes money.
But it'd be cool.
Takes money to have fun.
I'd love to go to Spain. I'd love to go to the UK.
I'd go to the UK.
Yeah, go to Greece. Go to
How
Italy.
about Greenland?
Oh yeah. No, Iceland. You want to go to Iceland, not Greenland. They say Iceland is green.
Oh,
And Greenland is icy.
oh, really?
Yeah, because they think it's like when you go to the store and you're like, I would like to have smart water. That'll make me smart. It doesn't make you smart. It's just fucking water. And it's like Greenland. I bet it's nice and green there. It's not. It's a big fucking piece of ice.
Oh, yeah. I want
Go to Iceland.
Yeah.
You see Bjork there and get some like fermented fish that's been buried in the ground.
That's the only thing that keeps me from like going to Europe. Is like I will fucking starve to death. What will I eat? What will I eat there?
Just take a backpack and fill it up with fruit roll-ups.
And the Oscar Mayer like Lunchables.
I would love to try those exotic foods. I think that's incredible.
You like if we were at a place in Dublin and they like we're in a pub and they put a plate down in front of you and it had like a fish's head was still on it, you would just like dive into it.
I'm not like that's not exciting to me. I would definitely eat the fish because it is just fish, but the fact that the tail and the head is on there is not appealing to me. But I would eat it. The thing that speaking of Dublin, haggis. You ever hear of that fucking shit?
Yeah. What is that?
I think it's like they take a sheep and they said we're going to take your stomach from you, and inside the stomach we're
Do
going.
they ask for permission first?
They do, but the sheep's response doesn't matter. They're going to do. They do it to be polite, and then they just do it anyway. They take the stomach, and then they take, I think, some of the organs, like maybe like the lungs and liver and stuff, and they grind it up, and it's like maybe like blood or something's in there too. It's basically this meal, like this kind of organ ground meal.
This
that's
is all
inside
the stuff that's left over. We don't want to waste it.
That's never sounded appealing to me, but I would try it. My line is like, hey, here's the brain of a monkey. He's like, I don't want to eat a brain. I said, all right, well, how about these Rocky Mountain oysters? Like, well, I love the Rocky Mountains. They're beautiful. And I do love oysters, but I know what you're talking about are testicles, and I don't eat genitals. That's a rule I put in place a long time ago.
Ugh. It just made me think of that League episode where they were eating the penises.
I don't remember that exactly, but yes.
It was because he could become fertile.
Oh.
And the balls and the penises. Oh.
You won't find me eating a penis.
Yeah, right.
Not again. Not again. Why did we choose to watch the Finkel Files?
3 simple criteria, and there's a bonus track for season 31. It was a pilot that went to series. It never went to series. Only one was made. Whether it aired or not was irrelevant. Number 2, we had to find it on the internet. Number 3, it had a free. And number 4, it was an Adult Swim pilot.
That's exactly right. Well, you're probably asking yourself, where can I watch the Finkel Files for myself? Well, you can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube. Blake?
You know what to do, Tube.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
How'd you get your voice so deep? Did I do some kind of thing to make that?
Plane go up, plane go down. Plane go up, plane go down. R-O-C-K in the DSJ. Oh, rockin' in the DSJ.
Bam. Bam, bam, bam.
Summary of the pilot. Little Joshua Finkel wants to be a rock star, but his parents have sent him away to rabbi training school instead.
A+.
Oh, boy. Really?
Yes,
Okay.
I think I when you read it last episode, I was like, ooh, I'm going to give that one an A+.
You knew then.
Yeah. I've been keeping it a secret for a whole week.
Put that in the pocket. That's good. That's not a bad summary. Interesting facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. This is the part of the show where Jason scours the internet to find facts about this pilot that you may not know. All we ask is that you follow the Conrad rule and not give your opinions share your opinions of these facts with people's. Animals, go ahead, that's fine. But don't taint anyone else's experience. I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Spit it out. Spit out your throw up.
Spit out your throw up?
Spit down your throw up.
No, it'd be spit down your throw side.
Spit up your throw down. Interesting facts. Release date November 3rd, 2003. Fact. Written and directed by Adam Motherpearl. Sounds like Mother of Pearl, if you say it.
Yeah.
He also voiced Shmuel and has worked on such projects like Dr. Katz, Professional Therapist, and home movies. Fact. Do you know either of those?
Dr. Katz, is that a cartoon?
Mm-hmm. Both from the school of quote-unquote squiggle vision.
Sounds familiar.
Do you remember squiggle vision?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. Dr. Katz had Jonathan Katz as Dr. Katz. And it also had Laura Silverman, I believe in it, Sarah Silverman's sister. She was like the receptionist or whatever. And then his son was H. John Benjamin. You know him, right?
Right.
And then the show would basically be a vehicle for alt comics of the time to come on and do 2 to 3 minutes of their act while being talked to in the professional environment of that therapist.
Okay, I got you.
And then there was an overarching narrative too. Interesting. Like Mark Maron was on it. You know, like
okay.
I think Ray Romano and Fred Stoller and that kind of fucking shit. And then Home Movies was a Brendan Small production. You know Brendan Small from many things. Also stars Pierce Cravens as Joshua Finkel. You may know him from Boardwalk Empire, Guiding Light, and some voices he did for Grand Theft Auto 5, one of the biggest games of all time.
How much they don't get money on the back end of that, do they?
I can't imagine.
That's a flat fee, right?
I imagine. Yeah. There's so many people involved. I can't imagine like people who do like kind of bit parts for voices on a game like that receive anything on the back end. I doubt that.
I just like saying back end.
And I like it when you say back end very much. Hold on a second.
I'm gonna try to drink this beer that's been open for 2 hours.
Good for you, buddy. Also stars Ben Zelavansky as Isaac. You may know him from The Goldbergs, Silicon Valley, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and the show Community, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. I just so happened to be watching last night while putting together these show notes the one episode that Ben Zelavansky was on while I was typing this up.
Weird.
Community did
Timing.
110 episodes. And I just so happened to be watching season 4, episode 1, where he played the mailman. I was watching him on here, and I was like, "Oh, that's what that guy looks like." And then I was watching. I saw that Community was a credit. I was like, "Is that? This is not the episode." It was. That's crazy timing. I love Community.
I'm thinking about giving it a try because I'm almost done with guest book. FYI, season 2 is not near as good as season 1. and I think I'm going to give it a try because I know you like it so much.
Yeah, it
Give
takes
us something to talk about.
It takes a little bit to get going. Not for me. Like
How many seasons do I have to give it? 2?
No.
Oh, you mean just a couple episodes? Okay.
Yeah, don't. I would if I loved a show and I was like, you got to get past the first and second. Fuck that.
Okay.
Don't you ever waste that much time getting into something. The show's great, and there is a girl on the show that I feel like that I have dated, and I will let you decide what that is if you decide to watch it.
Okay.
And with that said, end of interesting facts.
Nice.
And of course, we transition seamlessly into Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. I went up, Jason got some Twitter responses.
Yeah, we did. Every time that we watch a pilot, we say to everyone involved, we're talking the writers, the directors, creators, actors, producers, we say, hey, we're couch pilots. We talk about TV shows that had only one episode. Next up for us is the Finkel Files. We're excited to watch it, and we're wondering if you had any fun or interesting info you'd want to share. Thanks. We hope to hear from you. Well, the last person on the list that we just talked about here in Interesting Facts, Ben Zavalansky, who played Isaac, who's kind of the bigger, curly-haired fuck, the bully guy.
The bully guy.
He responded. He said, hey, guys, that was many moons ago, but if you have any questions, I can probe my feeble memory for answers. One thing I'm reasonably sure of is that it was Finkel, not Finkel, because I misspelled it. That was my error, so he corrected my spelling. And I said, hey, thanks for responding. You're absolutely right. It was Finkel, spelled the way he said it should be. I said, my mistake. I'm looking over your very impressive IMDb and see this is one of your first credits. How did you get involved? Well, Ben says, I worked with the show creator Adam Mutterpearl in the audio department on the classic Dr. Katz Professional Therapist. He obviously has an amazing eye for talent, and he asked me to do the voice. It's kind of a funny thing to say. Amazing eye for talent. But Ben is he is a very talented guy because not only did he do a great job on this show, but he's also been in many other programs over the years, and you don't get to do that without having some talent.
Gotta have some skills.
So Ben, thank you so much for responding and taking the time to talk to us here about your involvement with the Finkel Files. And with that, we will go ahead and put 10 minutes on the clock, and we will break down the 11 and a half minute episode of the Finkel Files. Are you crying? Are you crying?
I got some issues going on over here.
Tell me about your issues.
Huh?
Tell me about your issues.
I cannot, for the life of me, keep my eyes open.
Are you just that tired?
For 2, I'm so gassy, both ends, because we had wings. They're both mostly been belches. We had wings for dinner, and it didn't go well. And that beer just doesn't taste good. So my belly feels like it's just swollen.
Could you fall asleep right now?
No, because my back is killing me.
Okay, I was gonna say it might be an interesting it might be an interesting exercise if you like
Our most downloaded episode is season 31, episode 2, where Blake falls asleep.
It's not you. I feel bad because I really meant to be on tonight. Like after the conversation that we had at the bar that night, I was like, I'm gonna come in.
Oh, let's talk about that.
I'm gonna come in hot. I'm gonna go to it. But I did not sleep at all last night.
Let's talk about that before we get started on the show. We went to a concert where we said we ran into Dave Lytle. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
We saw Dave Lytle at Poor Brothers. He was in town. He created our episode 300 poster. It was nice to see him. And then you and I went to a concert, and then the concert ended at 10:15. And I was like, hey,
I was like, this is great.
And I was like, it's not that late.
No, that's great.
It's like, do you want to go just get another drink somewhere? You just want to hang out and get a drink? And he said, yes, as long as it's on the other side of the river. We're in downtown Peoria. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I just don't want to get shot. I was like, you're not going to get shot.
That's
here.
what everybody says. You're not going to get shot. There's shootings every day.
This is what I'll say about getting shot in Peoria. I bet there are 15 to 20 murders every year in in Peoria. And of those, I would say almost all of them are gang related. And like I was a guy who wanted to go buy drugs, and then I got shot. It's that kind of shit. And it's in a very specific part of town, too.
Okay.
So
right.
you're not going to get shot.
Okay.
But I know being from Pekin, there's this weird Peoria fear that like envelopes your city.
Oh, it was the other day. You were driving. I was like, where's this roundabout from? I've been so long since I've been on this side of the river. I was like, there's a new bridge?
Yeah, people who I've always said this too. People who are in Pekin who live there, if they work in Pekin, they never ever in their lives have a reason to leave Pekin. They've created this perfect bubble where they exist. But we went to downtown Peoria. We saw a concert. We left and got a beer. And then while we're at the bar, I think you were pretty buzzed at that point.
I didn't think I was. I thought I was. I kept it really cool and like at the concert and before the concert. I thought I was keeping it real cool.
Well, I had a note here to talk about this in case we needed something else to talk about. And I said, you've been doing this quote unquote bit in the past year maybe of like he's like, I am sick of podcasting in general. No offense to anyone, but I think I don't care. And you've been kind of dancing around the not wanting to do the show anymore, so much so that Chris Tuckley gave us another 10 episodes.
Put a curse on me.
He essentially put a curse on you. And
I put a spell on you.
That's always been in my mind. Is like, does he really want to do the show? I don't want to make him do the show. But I thought this could be like right now, the conversation that we're having. This could be us putting that bit to rest and really saying, what is the deal with that? And to lead you into it,
what's the deal with that bit?
There's our friend Kevin. He hasn't done it in about a month and a half. He does a show called The Sixer. Oh, no, that wasn't Sixer related. It was Karaoke Big E related. I'm sorry. The other show, the karaoke show that I'm on with Scott. Scott didn't do an episode 1 week, but he wants to keep releasing things. So he released an old episode. And to release that, he says, Kevin, will you take care of this for me? And Kevin puts an intro at the beginning of his Karaoke Big E episodes. Even if it's a new episode, he'll do an original new intro. It's 2 minutes long. And in the intro, Kevin said, this is a classic episode. It's me. It's not Jason's on it. Jason's not on it. It's me and Scott hosting it. And it's at a time when I still love podcasting. It's at a time when I still like podcasting. And Blake's on there, too. It's a time when he still liked podcasting. And that really hit me hard. Because I listen to all the Karaoke Big E's, past and present. And I said, does this? That really hit me that he said, like, I don't know what kind of conversations you and Kevin have off to the side about podcasting.
We've never had a conversation.
Well, I had a conversation with Kevin recently, and he said, yeah, you should stop doing it.
I should stop or you should stop?
Me, both of us. I said...
can we do my impersonation of him?
Sure.
So go ahead and ask me the question.
Hey, Kevin, I heard your intro to Karaoke Big E the other day, and I was thinking, I don't want Blake to feel like has to keep doing couch pies. I don't know. Do you guys think we should stop doing it?
Yeah. I think you really both should stop doing it. I mean, you guys are middle-aged men. Stop doing it.
He didn't say that. He didn't say the middle-aged part.
I mean, come on. I mean, what are we doing here?
It was kind of like that. But anyway, that's what I said to you. I kind of did all that preamble, and I said it sounded to me like you're really just you don't care. Not you don't care, but like there's no passion to want to keep doing it. So I said, Blake, right now, you and me at this bar in this moment, I'm laying it out there. I'm being honest. I'm being real with you. If you want to stop doing the show, let me know now. And this is our out, and we can find a nice, proper way to stop. And what did you say?
I said I don't want to stop. I was just doing a bit, and
it was I mean, it's not entirely.
Well, I think. Okay, I'll give you the queen.
Give me the Queen's Gambit.
The Queen's Gambit of it is, and I know that I do a lot less than you do for this show. I know that, and I think that's. I'm not in any way saying, and I'm not saying that you don't have stuff going on in your life. It just seemed like this was just like this year. Like 2021 has just seemed like an overload of way too much stuff going on. So then I'm like, oh, well, if I can't give it 100%, it's not fair to you or our 20 listeners to do it.
Okay.
But I've been trying to slowly get rid of some of that stuff and maybe reprioritize a little bit. And then like with my back and stuff. So it has it's not a podcast or it's not a couch pilots or it's not a Jason issue. It's just a life issue, that makes it sometimes like, should we do this if I'm falling asleep for 2 hours? No, we shouldn't. You know what I mean?
So you're kind of making the case
but I even said I'm like it's just because I was planning on giving it all I had. You know, I was
Yeah.
planning on being on, and it just all caught up with me. You know what I mean? Today.
Well, I don't want you to look at your life and everything that needs to be done and prioritize and think, doing the show is not it's not like high on my list, but I have to figure out a way to get it in there. I want it to be a thing that
No,
you want to do and look forward to, and I never want to feel like I'm making you feel obligated to do
no,
it.
I
don't
think
want that.
I think it is definitely one of the things I want to do, and I look forward to it. It's just it seems like by the time I get to do it, I'm,
Okay.
I'm either exhausted or
Well, either way, your window is passed to stop doing it.
Okay, that's fine.
And
That's
you're-
fine.
And you're locked in.
yeah. Chris already fucked me. That's fine. Okay,
So
10 minutes on the clock.
So there's that.
All right, we're starting off with some guitar licks, rock and roll. I wouldn't have been surprised if, in interesting fact, she would have said that Eddie Van Halen did the guitar riff for this.
It was tough to find information for this, but what we got here is, like we set up in the very beginning, this is a Jewish cartoon show. It's about Jewish kids in a Jewish environment, and so we have a classic Jewish song done in a kind of a rock and roll style for the intro.
Yeah, we got it's like the camera pans up on a metal file cabinet, opens it up to a file, and it says the Finkel file.
Joshua Finkel. We go to the woods at night, and there are two young boys heaving in a hoeing. They're pulling some seats from a synagogue into the woods. It's a kind of a classic prank, but it seemed like there was 4 students at this whole thing, didn't it?
Right. There's not a whole bunch of. I mean, it's kind of like on any show that there's a whole classroom. You very few of them.
But there's not even like background kids that I saw. You've got Joshua Finkel, you got Shmuel, and those are kind of your 2 meeker, smaller students.
Shmuel is the one with the
He looks like a Hasid.
yeah.
Yeah. And then you have 2 other ones, Isaac, and then another guy, Eli, maybe?
Yeah,
I think it was Eli.
he was the tall or kind of skinny,
Yeah.
kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so these are your 4 boys, and the 2 bigger boys, Eli and Isaac, are getting the other boys to do things. They're saying this is all part of being here at this rabbi school.
Yeah, it's like rabbi hazing.
Yeah.
Rabbi school hazing.
And so they have all these seats from the synagogue they're pulling out in the woods. And Joshua's like, I know I'm at rabbi school, but I want to be a musician.
Right. And they're like, what? Cut to, is it through the woods they see?
It's like across the lake.
Across the lake. Just like in every boys camp show, there's across the lake is.
It's a school to be a rabbi, but it almost plays like a summer camp.
Right. And there's a girls' school, and it's a Catholic school. Mm-hmm. And all these girls are smoking hot.
All these porcelain white skin with their plaid dresses and their pleats.
And then the nun.
I love pleats. Oh god,
Are you a pleater?
Oh, I love.
Oh, you pleated all day.
I pleat all night and the part of every day. That's right. Joshua gets busted out there moving the seats, and then the next day, the kids are coming back from like a pickled herring plant field trip. And pickled herring is a Jewish food. It's a kosher food that the Jewish people eat. And up pulls a Catholic schoolgirl van with the license plate.
Virgins.
I think it's Virgins 1, right?
Oh, I didn't know if it was. By the time I started writing it down, and
the boys are completely infatuated with these broads.
oh yeah, for sure.
This is I think there can be female rabbis. I mentioned Laura Silverman earlier, and Sarah Silverman's sister. They have another sister who is a lady rabbi.
Okay.
So I know it can be that way, but at this school, it's only 4 boys seemingly, and it's just fellas.
right. And so then the next day, they're the rabbi teacher guy. I didn't get his name.
Me neither. But the guy who's in charge.
Yeah, they're having they're going to have he's doing a speech on circumcision and foreskin, and I was just like, oh, this is classic. Like, and there was one part where what was the one's name that is a real Hasidic
Shmuel.
Like he talks about, he goes, when I had my circumcision,
Yeah.
it was a really old guy and
His hands are all shaky.
it's shaky, and so I pee sideways or something like that. I that was great.
Egad.
And it's almost what they go to like you can watch a foreskin video, and it's just
Yeah, and the guy's he's up at a podium with a knife and a carrot, and he starts slicing it. And then all the boys, I noticed this at first. I was like, why are all the kids sitting on wooden boxes in here?
it's because they had taken all the pews.
Yeah, but then the pews were like, or the seat.
They're all
big ones-
stacked up.
Yeah, they're stacked up like a. Like
they were cleaning them. They were. That was the punishment. That's what Finkel was doing. Is they were cleaning them.
Oh yeah, they're polishing them up. Anyway, the boys then make plans to go see the Catholic girls, and Isaac's like, you know about Catholic girls, right? And like, what? We're 12. We don't know. It's like Catholic girls like to get it on.
Yeah, they're like, Catholic girls really like Jew boys.
So they go to the woods. They're cutting down trees, and they're like, we got to build a raft. It's like you can probably walk around the lake. You have to go through the lake, but they build a raft across the lake, and they keep getting like pushed back to shore or turned around. They keep ending up back at their school, and then they finally are like, well, let's try again. We'll use a match to light the way, and then they burn down the raft.
Right, and so they have to come back, and that's me. It says Catholic girls know how to party.
Oh yeah.
Then there was the acidic joke. I've had an issue with that. I just wrote acidic jokes. I've had issues with that. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know what that is. But the next day, the rabbi teacher and Joshua are in the bathroom. They're going over like all the rabbi's ailments that he has.
Yeah.
His sciatica, I think he brings up a couple times. And then Joshua tells the rabbi, "It's like I appreciate being here, but I want to be a musician. I don't want to be a rabbi." And he's like, "No, you want to be a rabbi," and it's just kind of ends there.
Yeah, it kind of piddles out, and
Yeah.
then you see the metal filing cabinet again.
Yeah, that's it. Open and closing the
It
cabinet.
did piddled kind of out. There was no big ta-da.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Bing bong. I normally sometimes I'll have answers for this if there's a lot of information about a pilot. Someone will say, "Hey, this is why it didn't work, and network didn't like this," or something. Or sometimes I'll write down my own thoughts. I have a lot to say in this section.
Okay.
which is not like me usually.
I will give you the floor.
A couple of the questions I ask. One of them is, why didn't this show work? And this is my take on it. 2003. I'm trying to get in the mindset. Anytime a Jewish version of something is done, it's usually applauded because there isn't a lot of Jewish representation in the U.S. media. And even though much of Hollywood is run by Jewish folk, an example of that, which I think fits well, not only with this particular pilot, because we just watched it, but also because it's a favorite of yours, is Rugrats. I don't know if you remember this or not, but Rugrats had a famous and very well-received Jewish episode celebrating Hanukkah because the main characters on Rugrats were Jewish.
Right. Yeah. The next door neighbors were. They all were. Weren't they?
I think the kid. Yeah, I think a lot of the kids were there. So the Finkel files could have been banking on points for being progressive or unique. Like that could have been maybe part of their pitch. It's like we're doing something that's not being done right now. But I think the show's also looking to cash in on the South Park craze happening at that time. While South Park started out as like a solid PG-13 show, it super evolved into a hard R / how the hell does this make it the cable television kind of program? You know what I mean?
Right.
The Finkel Files is wanting to be like a cartoon about kids talking to the 18 to 34-year-old range demographic, but without crossing the line, and that may be where the show fails. In the past 5 years, we've seen like nostalgia through children becoming wildly popular with shows like Stranger Things and the reboot of the It movies, right?
Right.
These are shows where like children are speaking very crassly, as children often do to each other, and folks respond to that because it feels real. So this show does not do that, but because it's hindered by the restrictions of cable television and the fact that Adult Swim was kind of still evolving into what it is today without knowing really what it was at the time. So I think it's like it was saying, oh, South Park is there, but we'll do a Jewish thing, and then we'll make it like kind of edgy, but it wasn't edgy enough.
It was like yellow mustard, not Grey Poupon.
You got to get that poupon, baby. Oh my god. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, they were kind of handcuffed. They had a vision of probably to making it more risque, but yeah.
Yeah, at the time, Adult Swim was in its infancy.
This pilot, it needed to go either one way or the other. It was just kind of hovering. You know, you got to either really dig into that foreskin.
You got to really make a kid piss sideways or go down
get off the pot
or go down the pot. What would you do to improve this from what you saw?
I probably would have made it a little bit more raunchy in the fact that maybe hit those jokes, not be so fluffy about those jokes. Either hit them or don't hit them.
Do you think I was onto something with some
Oh,
of that?
for sure. Yeah.
If it had survived, I mean, we got a Parents' Day episode. They come to town. Eventually, they make it over to the Catholic girls thing.
Or
Josh
puberty.
gets
Puberty.
Yeah.
One of them starts to hit puberty.
you're gonna take elements from Big Mouth and put it in there.
Yeah, and then they every once in a while maybe they can hit on a Jewish story or tradition or something. Maybe
It's all boys. Maybe a girl comes to be a rabbi, and she's part of the crew now. Maybe it's
we are the rabbi shuffling crew, shuffling on down, pickle and herring for you.
Yeah, maybe Joshua Finkel's got a little girlfriend over at the Catholic place, and
Tinkle Finkel?
then a new girl comes over and she wants to be a rabbi, and he's got 2 dates for the dance, kind of a
Yeah,
thing. You know,
I like that.
There's a lot of tropes that could be used here. I think there's plenty to mine from when it comes cartoons. It's endless.
Right.
It's limitless what you can do, but it obviously didn't work. We'll see what other people had to say about that, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are
Kevin was like, "Yeah,
for
just
our
stop doing the show."
position.
I was like, "Oh, I thought I had some more pushback from that."
He's like, yeah. And he just said, yeah, just stop doing the show.
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, I still want to do it as long as Blake wants to, but I don't know if he wants to. But Kevin was like, yeah, just stop doing it. And so that made me think, what is Blake saying to Kevin?
No, we don't talk about podcasting.
And it wouldn't. I don't care if you guys did. I was just like, I would like some transparency as it relates to my
No,
involvement.
yeah, for
with
sure.
It, you know?
No, yeah.
Anyway, IMDb.com has a score for this. You fancy a guess?
6.3?
This is a 5.9. Very
Really?
close. That's from 7 ratings.
Oh.
Not a lot going on here as far as reviews. There is one viewer review. And I had to pull this from the YouTube, which is always the bottom of the barrel for me.
Right, it's the laziest of the lazy.
This is like when I'm trying to get one more pancake from the batter in the big mixing bowl. I'm just scraping in there with a spatula.
Just, ugh.
Spatula.
It's going to be deformed. It's going to be a deformed pancake.
It's going to come out ill. It's not going to come out with the frequency of a normal batter in the. Yeah, it's going to come out all weird. You want a perfect circle, right? You want Maynard James Keenan. You don't want some freaking. Anyway,
you know, with the rubber band, man.
oh my god, you don't. Bogus Mojo says, "Wow, this is just trash." The Honorable Reverend Addison Borshin says, "The music at the beginning and end is okay though."
Oh, we forgot to note that like these guitar licks and riffs that are going on through the show,
Yeah.
they are like riffs on a like traditional Jewish song.
Rock riffs, yeah. Where are you at, Martin Hafer?
For your safety and comfort, please remain
Martin
seated
Hafer, no
in
reviews.
seat passes until
Huh.
the captain
He's a review man.
He probably didn't even know about this one.
He never responded, but I sent him an email with a spreadsheet of all the ones we've already done, with all the names and the links.
Well, he better get on it.
Well, He didn't respond. I need to follow up with him and see if he got it. But when we had him on the show, when we interviewed him, he's like, "I'll
He's
send
like,
them to
yeah.
you." I did. I sent it to him.
You're a man of your word.
I'm a man of honor, and I honor you.
I honor you.
Shit. This is the part of the show where we said you didn't ask for any of this information, but God Almighty, we gave it to you. There's a lot here to mine from the Finkel files. Even the shows that don't have a lot out there, there's still a lot that we can get together. We can cobble,
Right.
right? But now we have to grade it. We have a grading scale 1 to 7, 1 being the worst score and best being the 7, and we assign all those numbers with characters from the famous television show from the 1990s, affectionately and accurately known as Wings. That number 1 spot, the worst score, that's a Roy Biggins. Number 7, just like Gillette, it's the best a man can get. That's Brian Hackett. Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate the Finkel files?
I thought it was cool that they did it. Kind of, it's a Jewish-based one. I don't know a lot about the Jewish faith or anything, but I think it's cool that they did that. I do think they needed to either go a little harder, a little raunchier, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think the artwork on it was good. I like the bold lines
Yeah.
on the animation.
Yeah, I agree. I'll always have a soft spot for animation that is not computer animation.
Right. I'll give this man. Last week I did I liked it better than last week, so I'll give it a 6.
Really? Okay, that's a high
Yeah.
score.
I wanted to go a 5, but I don't want to do a 5 again.
Well, there's no rules that says you can't, but 6 is a 6, and I will now give my score, which is not as good as that. I understand that you're trying to cash in on maybe a little bit of having kids behaving badly. There's something to that. There's the Jewish aspect. That's cool. Let's do something unique. I'll always give points for something that is being done differently or something we haven't seen much of. But I didn't think this was that funny. I didn't love this. I didn't think it was that good.
There wasn't a lot of punchlines.
No. Adult Swim is not a place for drama. Was this made for Adult Swim, or did Adult Swim just pick this up? I don't know. I couldn't find that information. But if it's 11 minutes, I assume it was made with Adult Swim in mind. What a great place to put your short cartoons. I didn't think this was funny, and Adult Swim is supposed to be funny. Not a ton to love about this, but I definitely didn't hate it. I'm going to give this a 3.
Ooh, wow! I was almost going to write a 4 down. 3.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll give it a 3. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible by any means. It wasn't funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that funny.
We haven't been that far off in a while, so that's it's interesting.
Different ends of the spectrum, that's for sure. and you've claimed that you're on the spectrum. So, with your score of a 6 and mine of a 3, we will close the book on the Finkel Files, and we shall never speak of that show again.
Yiva!
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Let's Fish. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. This is interesting. Let's Fish is fun and lighthearted. The use of live actors grounds the series in semi-reality, while the use of animated background and animated characters allows for imaginative situations and stories. Let's Fish also takes aim at the American way of life, providing thoughtful social commentary. I do like that.
Wow,
That's something.
that's a detailed one.
Something. You can find the entire episode of Let's Fish by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, or then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, Blake.
You know what to do, Tube.
That's right. You're standing up at this point.
Yeah,
I'm
in pain,
You're
so,
back.
yeah.
Okay, we're wrapping it up.
No, it's all fine. I'm not being pushy. I'm just being comfortable.
You obviously want me out of here right away. How do you contact the show?
Well,
Whoa!
go to couchpilotspodcast.com. It's a one-stop shop. All the links to email us, our social media is on there. All the episodes that we have are on there. Also, you can check us out on Spotify as well. Mm-hmm. We have a dial-in number. That's 910 Pilots 1.
Yep.
And that's
That translates to 910 Pilots 1.
Yep, which is 910
Pilots 1.
Pilots 1.
Yep. That's exactly right. I'm not going to give it to you. We have a Facebook. We have a Twitter. I don't know your involvement with those personally. Listening at home, I don't care. I don't care what you do on social media, but we are there if you need us. And this is the Couch Pilots guarantee. If you follow us, I will see it, and I will follow you back almost instantly.
Nice.
That is my promise to you.
So if you need one more follower to hit 40 million.
Like us, and then
Yep.
I will do my once-a-month inventory of all the people that follow us and the people that have followed us, and I followed them back, and they've unfollowed us. I will unfollow you.
That's a good idea.
Once-a-month inventory. Got to keep it tight, man.
I love it.
Got to keep it tight. Put it on the schedule. Go to patreon.com. Find us there, and then there's a series of buttons and information that you can enter that will allow I don't know if it's the internet or like banks, but basically what it does is it takes money from your account and puts money into our account.
Right.
And we like that.
Sure.
We want to have your money. We don't need all of it, just a little
No,
bit.
yeah, we're not gonna rob you.
The church says, like the Catholic Church,
10%, right?
says, why don't you tithe 10%? We're not asking for that.
We don't want you to tithe anything. Just
No. Blake was tithing one on before I got here.
I behaved again today. I was proud of myself.
No, you've been very sober. Yeah, we get. You know what? Give us 0.05 of your annual earnings. That's all we ask.
That's not bad. That's shekels.
You're not going to get more pure and unique and thoughtful content than this. Okay, a lot of places you can dump your money. Surely you can give us 0.5% of your net worth.
For sure.
That's it. We had said there'd be a time at the end of the show if you had anything to talk about, we would give you the opportunity. Is there anything that you want to say?
No, I'm just I apologize to everyone for the last 2 weeks for yawning, mostly to you and also at you. I'm trying.
Well, let's get you upstairs and we'll put a couple of Bear aspirin in your ass. And that'll.
In it yet, so it goes directly into the bloodstream.
That's exactly right. No other reason. Neither of us take any pleasure from that. It's just a way to make you feel better.
Who's neither of us, me or you, or get Molly involved in this?
Well,
She's probably in bed by now.
Yeah, Molly said I'm going to bed. If Blake needs anything in his ass, it's going to be up to you. This pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the nice day.